Bradshaw, he's looking to make a pass on James Dunn up the hill, side by side, bar to bar. Bradshaw into the lead then. What's up guys, I'm Max and this is 999 Laser. In this video you're going to witness the race we've all been waiting for. The GoPro clip from this moto of Neville Bradshaw racing his 1989 CR500 against modern two-strokes has amassed over 17 million views. But in this video you're going to see the full multi-cam race complete with commentary. Buckle up for this legendary ride on Big Red. Here we are then for the final race of the season for the British Two-Stroke Championship. Neville Bradshaw lining up here once again on the 1989 CR500. And he's taking on a full field modern 252 strokes here at Fox Hills. He's in a fierce championship fight with the number 55 Mike Crass, the European champion, who's looking to tie up the British Two-Stroke Championship here today. Also look out for guys like James Dunn and Ashley Greedy to throw a spanner in the works as we get ready for the gate drop here at Fox Hills, final moto of the season. It's James Dunn with a flying start then. Number 2 KTM, Neville Bradshaw sneaks up the inside on the Big Red CR500 though, so it's Dunn 1, Bradshaw 2. And it looks like Mike Crass is third early on in this race. He tries to go around the outside of Bradshaw, but Bradshaw shuts the door. Oh, and he slightly overjumps that first tabletop. But he hangs on to Big Red and hangs on to second position behind the fast starting James Dunn. The local lad on the number 2 GL12 KTM machine, who has been racing that KTM 250 out in Europe in the EMX 250 Championships this season, alongside his teammate Mike Crass, the number 55 machine, who sits third. Oh, Bradshaw tried a nice cheeky pass out the inside there, but couldn't quite make it stick. As Dunn used the wide line and cut off to jump down the hill. But Bradshaw sure looks hungry at the start of this moto, as Ashley Greedy has moved into third place and around the championship leader Mike Crass. So Crass looking to maybe take this race a little easy. He doesn't have to do too much in order to win this championship. But Bradshaw, he's looking to make a pass on James Dunn up the hill, side by side, bar to bar. Bradshaw into the lead then, but Dunn fights back, bar to bar, down the step down. And Dunn retaliates well to retake the lead from Bradshaw. So momentarily, the 1989 CR500 was leading this moto ahead of James Dunn, but Dunn retaliated quickly to reclaim the lead from Nevster, who now sits second and is being hounded by Ashley Greedy, the number 33 machine, who also rides a modern KTM 252 stroke. So that's lap 1 complete, and what a lap it was for Neville Bradshaw and Big Red. He goes wide on the final corner. That has allowed Ashley Greedy to slingshot and try and make a move. And yes, Greedy hard on the brakes, and he takes over second place and tried to make a move on first right there actually. So Ashley Greedy with a great pass into second to relegate Bradshaw into third. So 1, 2, 3, it's still pretty tight between these guys right now. Mike Crass has dropped off the pace a little bit here at the start of this moto. But as we said, 4th place for him will be fine to wrap up this title if Bradshaw finishes third where he is right now. So Bradshaw is desperately going to have to try and fight through these top 2 riders, Greedy and Dunn then, if he wants to try and make this championship fight really go down to the wire. Those front 2 guys setting an incredible pace at the moment. His Greedy attacks Dunn for the lead. So Greedy's trying everything to make a pass to James Dunn, but Dunn defends well once again this lap around, as he did last lap against Neville Bradshaw. So Dunn riding a great defensive race. He survived the storms from Bradshaw, and now he's surviving a second storm from Greedy. fierce battle for the lead at the moment, and Bradshaw just lurks there in third, watching it all unfold in front of him. These top three riders certainly stretching away from the rest of the pack. Now Mike Crass and the rest of the crew dropping off the pace. Bradshaw's still right there in the mix, right on the rear wheel of Greedy. He's a complete lap number 2 here at Fox Hills. Track drying out a lot now. The rut's becoming baked. The corner's slick. Certainly tough conditions for the big red CR500. But once again, Bradshaw's proven that this is one mighty machine. Putting the old girl up in the mix with the modern bikes. Over 30 years, the difference in technology between Bradshaw's bike and those of the riders he's battling with. So once again, a testament to this bike and a testament to Bradshaw. That guy can ride the socks off anything. Just listen to Big Red drag up that hill. What a beautiful sound. What a beautiful sight. One that we don't get to hear or see very often these days. It just feels natural to see a CR500 ripping around Fox Hills. One of the most iconic tracks in UK motocross history, GP motocross history actually. Fox Hills has been a location of many iconic races, and I think this is another one of those. So 1, 2, 3 still sitting tight at the moment. Dunn leads the way ahead of Greedy, and then Bradshaw still right there in third. The 272 machine riding steady. Mike Crass still sits in fourth, the championship leader. Bradshaw looks back to see how far behind his championship rival is. Crass is way out of sight, but he's certainly not out of mind, because Bradshaw knows that he needs to put bikes in between himself and Crass. He wants to try and clinch this title in the dying moments of the race. That is looking to be a tough task at the moment, because Dunn and Greedy are setting a fierce pace at the front of the pack. And Crass can sit easy in fourth place at the moment, knowing that if the race was to finish now, the title would be his. Feeds up these hills. Bradshaw put the power down on the old girl. As we said, it's a beautiful sound, a beautiful sight to behold. Another look over his shoulder there for Bradshaw. So he's either looking to see where Crass is, or he's starting to feel the fatigue of battling the big red CR500 around the track here at Fox Hills today. Certainly no easy task to wrestle this bike around the track. He looks to be having so much fun on the CR500 here today. I think this might start a love affair between Bradshaw and Big Red. About the halfway stage of the moto now. The race is settled down. Dunn in the lead, Greedy second, and Bradshaw powers through in third place, well ahead of his title rival Mike Crass, who is fourth place at the moment. As we said, fourth place will do for Crass in order to wrap up this championship here in the final moto of the British two-stroke championship. Bradshaw and Crass have fought toe-to-toe all season long for this title. Bradshaw doing it all for fun. He turned up at the first round on board a 2002 Honda CR500 to do battle against Crass and the rest of the guys on their modern machines, their modern 252 strokes. And Bradshaw ripping that CR250 all season long, putting himself right in the mix for the championship. Then he decided to turn up here today at Fox Hills for the final round on a 1989 CR500 for no other reason other than he wanted to ride a CR500 around Fox Hills. That's certainly one big tick off of his bucket list here today. Not too many riders of his generation have had the opportunity to do this. Bradshaw took it with both hands. He seemingly loved his experience on board the big old CR500. And remember, never ridden a CR500 in his life before today. The first laps of qualifying were the first laps he ever logged on board a big bore two-stroke. So he's had to learn quickly, learn the ropes quickly. And he's proven himself to be a quick learner, that's for sure. Bradshaw certainly got to grips with Big Red very quickly. And he's looking to put the old girl on the box in his final moto of the day. So Bradshaw takes the one lap to go board. He sits in third place behind James Dunn and Ashley Greedy still. As we just said, Mike Crass sits there in a solid fourth place. So barring any disaster from Crass, the championship will be his. The GL12 KTM rider will take home the British two-stroke title this year. But it's not been without a fight by Bradshaw, who's had an incredible year riding these old two-strokes. First at 2002 CR250 in the first half of the season, and then here today he's selected to ride a 1989 CR500 to close out the season for no other reason than to give the fans something to cheer about, to give them something different, and to tick off his bucket list racing a CR500 at Fox Hills. He sits in a fine third place at the moment, proving to the world that the CR500 still has what it takes to fight the modern two-strokes, the modern technology, showing just how much of a beast this bike was back in the day. What a machine. You can see why there's so many fans of the CR500 around the world. A masterpiece of motorcycle technology. So half a lap to go then for Bradshaw and Big Red. He may not be claiming the championship here today, but he can still hold his head high knowing that he's put a 30-year-old bike, more than 30 years old this bike, he's put it onto the podium here in the second moto and the overall. So what an effort by Bradshaw, and what a bike the CR500 is. And a hill clicker for the fans there on the last lap of action. It looks over up the hill. They're loving it, the fans watching this final two-stroke race of the season. They love seeing the CR500 out there. And they certainly weren't expecting to see a hill clicker on this last lap. Ever the showman. Bradshaw jumps up the hill for the final time then. He's about to cross the line in third place on board the 1989 CR500. And there he goes. Solid third place ride for Bradshaw and Big Red. But Crass will take the championship home today after a hard-fought fight with Neville Bradshaw for the British two-stroke title. What a season of racing. Two-strokes are awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got to give a big shout out to Kevin and me for always supporting the channel. Thanks, mate, I really appreciate it. As always, guys, I've been Max. This has been 999 Laser. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Until next week, I'll see you at the track.